Hey everyone, this is going to be a short update tonight, but just as I said, I was going to come back on the 7th, and I hope you are all having a good Tuesday. And I'm going to share my screen here and just show you what's going on in the weather real quick here. So this map of Florida with the satellite is way different from the way it looked just a few days ago. There was a lot more thunderstorm activity. Now it's more scattered, widely scattered. You can see. There's thunderstorms popping that popped in the last 3 to 6 hours across south central and southwestern Florida, and thunderstorms popped up around the Orlando, Kissimmee area, going over towards in the direction of Kennedy Space Center, but didn't quite make it over there. We have a thunderstorm that had popped up, looks like over the Lake Butler area, Rayford, going up towards little town of Sanderson, Florida here, and little thunderstorms developed just to the southeast of Valdosta, just really widely scattered, and you can really see how the weather is. It's really with the thunderstorms being more sparse, it's getting hotter, and you can see right here. There's the thunderstorms over the actually just to the east of Lake Butler, actually right along Highway 301, going up towards Lottie, the little speed trap town of Lottie on Highway 301. Heavy thunder shower right over there. Everything else is pretty much off the coast here. Like I say, it's raining to the northeast of Orlando, going east of Lake Mary and Sanford, that area. So that's a look at that. Let me show you an overview of what's going on across the entire country here. We got heat advisories here across the southeast. Got severe thunderstorm advisories up here in South Dakota. And then you got let's see, what is the extreme heat warning across southern Arizona? And then we got red flag warnings across southwestern Utah. They've got some fires out there and smoke advisories out here towards western Colorado. Let me go quickly to the tropical tidbit site here, and this will give you a better idea of what's going on in the satellite picture here. If this thing will ever load. Yeah, here we go. Wow, one thing you can clearly see here where I'm circling, this is an upper level area of low pressure. So that's not a tropical cyclone developing. We have a tropical wave right here that's moving into the basically towards Trinidad and Tobago coming in from the east, but a lot of upper level wind shear, and then there is some disturbed weather across the southern, no such word as that, Ian, the southern Gulf of whatever, Gulf of Mexico, Gulf of America, whatever you want to call it. It's the Gulf. There's pretty good thunderstorm activity across the southern and southwestern parts, Bay of Campeche. You can see, really, there is I can tell one thing about this. There is clearly an area of high pressure right out here, and that strong high pressure area is strengthening like something like this. And so the flow pattern around high pressure goes like that. So what is that doing? That's pumping in lots of tropical air over the southern United States right here. However, one thing that you can't see from this is there's patches of dry air at the mid levels that are kind of affecting the general area of the Western Atlantic. And that's probably why Florida is going to be so dry and so hot over these next few days. It's going to be in the upper 90s here. Let me show you the water vapor imagery, and you can see here, yes, this upper level low. You can see this really clearly. Here, let me get red instead because that's really the color that you want to use. This is an upper, okay, this is an upper area of low pressure right here, spinning here. And then anything you see right here in like this gray, that's dry air, really dry air out here over the central Atlantic right here in the main development region. And then you got big trough in the jet stream right here. And I know I'm using this color all over the place. Once again, there's this thunderstorm activity across the southern Gulf of America. And let's see. So what we see here is the flow pattern in the upper levels coming across Florida over these next few days is going to be out of the northeast. So it's kind of a little bit pushing a little bit of drier air across Florida. And that's going to make it really, really stinking hot, which is what I don't like, but this is early to mid-July, and that's just the way it is. And let's go out of here real quick in here. Let's look at the computer models here real quick, just so I can end this in a good way. And let's see, let's go to the Google, not the Google AI, the European AI model. And this is a real general, this green, it shows where there's chances of rain. It doesn't show where the actual rain's going to be, by the way. This is just where there's going to be a chance of rain. So I'm going to advance this forward here and keep an eye on Florida here. Now watch this. You can see how Wednesday morning, very dry across the southeast, across Florida and the southeast. Advance it again to later in the afternoon Wednesday. We get a little bit of thunderstorm activity across the northern Gulf of America, moving into the Panhandle, southern Louisiana, and then thunderstorms across the western Panhandle of Florida. And then that's going into July 9th on Thursday. Thursday night it clears out again. And then looks like Friday morning, July 10th, it looks like pretty good thunderstorm activity across the Gulf Coast, just not affecting Gainesville, but that's in the evening hours. And then we look here, yeah, evening of July 10th looks like there's going to be some pretty good thunderstorm activity across the central Gulf Coast. Let's go into the 11th, which is Saturday. Looks like South Florida and the Keys going up to even towards far north as Tampa, the coastal waters. Looks like they're showing an increase of moisture coming up from the Western Caribbean by July 11th, which is Saturday. Now, one thing that the models were showing a few days ago was a frontal boundary sliding its way southward to the Gulf Coast. Let's see if this model is still showing that, because there is a storm system right here over the across the Ohio River Valley, they call it, and maybe that is part of that frontal system coming down. Let's keep an eye on it. Yes, you can see definitely showing by the evening of the 11th, which is Saturday, shows moisture coming up into the eastern Gulf. I find that interesting. And then July 12th, wow, look at all that moisture. This is a combination of frontal moisture and tropical moisture coming up from the Caribbean. So it looks like the 12th, which is Sunday, is going to be very stormy across Florida. And then let's see. It looks like, yeah, Sunday the 12th in the evening going to be really stormy. It looks like there's going to be lower pressure around the Tampa area. And then by Monday the 13th, yes, definitely a focused line, linear, basically a frontal system is going to bring stormy weather from Texas all the way to South Carolina on Monday the 13th. So it's going to be widespread thunderstorms, especially from Louisiana to southeast Georgia. And then let's see, go all the way through Monday the 13th. Yeah, it's definitely going to be stormy on Monday, going into Tuesday morning early. And then there's a 10-15 millibar low could be forming off the coast on next Tuesday, the 14th. This is going to be interesting to see what happens. Looks like it's sagging to the southwest over Florida. So it looks like, yeah, like the models were saying last week, it looks like we're going to see a stormier pattern after this extreme heat we experience over these next 3 days. We're going to get into a stormier pattern starting Sunday the 12th, going through Wednesday the 15th, especially across north central and northern Florida. And it kind of keeps going all the way through the 16th. And then by the 17th, there's still scattered thunder showers around my neck of the woods, Gainesville to Jacksonville and down to Orlando. And then by the 18th, everything starts sliding south a little bit. And then by the 19th, things kind of calm down a little bit. So, and then another impulse moves across Florida. So, yeah, we're going to see probably a very small chance of a thunder shower in the late morning tomorrow, which is Wednesday, in the Gainesville area over towards Cedar Key, basically Chiefland area. and then that'll move inland. But then most of the rest of the day is going to be hot and steamy. And then by Thursday, it's going to be really hot. Thursday and Friday look like you're going to be really hot and um, dry as far as rain is concerned, but the humidity will be there, but it'll be very hot. So heat index is probably around 110 degrees. So that's what we have to look forward to. This is all I really have to share right now. I will check back in on the 10th and see how things are going. And let's see, let me exit out of this screen here. I hope you all have a good night. I'll see you next time.